winter here pretty soon. We don't have enough people to sustain our economy.
But she told me like she hates kids.
Yeah.
And this is the third time I've heard it.
When you grow up in a large family, you understand that family is really an incredible gift.
People want you to get in front of the line. You come to the bank like there's a queue. Everybody wants you to get to the front even if you're late.
I would argue that it's part of the feminist movement in regards to this idea that I can do things on my own. Men and women are very different, and obviously women can have children. And
preach. Americans don't know the influence they have in the world at large. Average Nigerian man believes that he is supposed to provide for his family. I believe that I have the authority to lay hands on my kids and pour down blessings,
That's not necessarily true. I think most individuals here in the United States would see having more children is actually a sign of not being wealthy. And they gave everything to God, including obviously their fertility.
Let's say if your parents were like trying to be very smart. We want to go on more vacations and we don't want, let's just have one dog. I was like, this is very impossible in the United States.
Or eating pasta sauce, that kind of thing. I get pasta sauce in my hand.
Yeah.
I think the devil took hold of me.
Like, it's scary.
In regards to that idea, there is definitely an issue with infertility in the United States, and I think it's maybe due to our diets, due to just a number of environmental factors. More and more people are delaying getting married, and therefore they have less kids because of that. So that's also a reason why.
Okay.
And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. I think actually people should be considering getting married maybe younger than they are, because it's not uncommon to wait until like your late 20s to get married now.
Late 20s
here in the United States. When did you get married?
Funny enough, I feel like people in the United States get married earlier than people in Nigeria.
In Nigeria? Yeah. Oh, they do?
Yeah. You might think you guys marry late here in the States. I hate saying you guys, we guys, because I'm an American citizen. Yeah, I'll get used to it. So I think people get married earlier here than Nigeria. And I think the reason is because of the economy too. People delay marriage because people get independent earlier here in the States.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because of this, the fact that at the age of 16, 17, you already started making money officially, pretty much. You can work and make money.
Yeah, you can, but not much.
Yeah, but it sets you up to that kind of lifestyle where you already know, like, you can be a CNA at the age of 18, right?
Technically, yes, yeah, but not very many of them are.
Yeah. If you want to, and start making money. And most of them move out of their houses at, say, 19, 20. No, but it's not like that in Nigeria, because at that age, you're probably still in what you call college, you're still in university. Still very dependent on your family. You're not making any money too. Even if it'll be a very difficult way of making money, like doing menial jobs, and it's not gonna amount to anything, right? Whereas here in the States, there's the system has already set it up that you can get not like a very good job, but something that can pay your bills, right? Yeah.
To some extent.
Yeah. And then if you have, like, let's say a boyfriend or a girlfriend, something like that, you guys can, move in together. People don't frown at it. Yeah, they don't frown at it, but in Nigeria, people frown at it. So you find yourself still staying with your family, even at the age of 25.
Which way do you think is better?
I think a little bit of this and a little bit of that,
I kind of agree.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, if Nigeria would have, like, the opportunity for people to, like, make money at early age, that way they can get married, not like moving in and cohabiting together, People don't frown at it, but in Nigeria, people are going to frown at it, Yeah. So people get married earlier here because of the financial reasons. In Nigeria, they get married late. I don't know if I made the point clear, but it's just what it is. Like me, I got married in my late 20s.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess in Nigeria then, regardless of whether you get married late in your 20s, you still usually have 3, 4, 5, 6 kids, right?
Oh, yeah. It's... Yeah. The average would be... I think it reduced over time. The average would be like 4 kids. That would be the average.
Whereas here, I think what I've read recently is 1.8 kids per married couple.
What's the 0.8?
Well, it's obviously an average. It's an average. Obviously, there's no such thing as a 0.8
of a human.
of a human.
I was like, honestly, it set me thinking. I'm like, what 0.8 human? Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think it goes back to this idea: what are children for, or what are children? And I think often, if you say that children, if you actually mean that children are a blessing, then you end up having more of them, typically. Even though you might never say this in polite American society, if they are a burden to some extent, you will have less of them. Those are some hard truths to say, but we're kind of seeing the effects of it on our society. You know, we are in a demographic winter here pretty soon. We don't have enough people to sustain our economy.
That's
probably in the next couple of the coming decades.
That's not good. I don't know, but I also noticed like people like not yesterday, like a week ago. Yeah, it was. I don't want to say it's a culture shock for me, but because I've heard it before, right? But each time I hear it, I cringe. Like, lady at work, you know, we were talking like randomly in the break room, and then I don't know what we were talking about, but she told me like she hates kids.
Yeah.
And this is the third time I've heard it. And the first time I heard it, I was like, "What is she? Is she okay?" I don't know. I'm sorry if you hate kids, but but that's just where I came from, right? But yeah, she told me she hates kids. I'm like, "What do you mean you hate kids?" She said she will never have kids. I'm like, "How old are you?" She's like 20, maybe 29, around that. And I'm like, "Are you not gonna get married or something?" Because I'm like, for me, my mentality is like, you know, when you get married, definitely kids are gonna show up, right? God willing, right? She's like, yes, even if I do, I'm not gonna have kids. So she's already planning that if she gets married, she's gonna block every avenue to have kids.
Yeah.
And that's shocking to me. And that's the third time I'm hearing it from someone who used to be a kid.
Yeah, and I think it's a reflection of maybe the hard family life that they grew up with as being a kid, being raised in a difficult family situation, and therefore they don't want to start their own family.
Pretty much like a trauma kind of thing.
Yeah, to some extent, or just really bad feelings about. But yeah, obviously we grew up in very different situations, and those types of people. We grew up in large families where, you know, it's just kind of. When you grow up in a large family, you understand that family is really an incredible gift.
Honestly, there's nothing more than family.
Yeah.
Right? There is nothing more than... I mean, honestly, it is difficult to take care of those kids.
Yeah.
Especially here in the States. So, yes.
So you're saying it's hard to take care of.
Let me cut you some slacks if you don't like to have kids, but you really have to. It's a blessing, okay? God willing. But I noticed it's very difficult to take care of those kids here in the States. Okay. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much you have. It's the system. How does the system help you take care of the kids? Like in Nigeria, for example, if you're a woman and you get pregnant, I think you go off work at some point just before you put to bed, and you go on a maternity leave. And people are very helpful too, you know.
So you're saying the community at large is helpful,
The
and like
community
extended
and
family,
the
they
community
help
and
you?
the system. The system for us, the ladies, they go off work for a period of, and they still get paid.
You're talking about here in the United States
No,
or
in
Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Okay.
In Nigeria, you get off. I don't know how many months. I think it's up to. I don't want to lie, but I think it's up to 4 months, which is huge. And you still get paid. Nothing
In
cut
Nigeria?
off. Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize this. Wow.
Oh yeah, just for you to take care of your kids, okay? And you have more privileges as a pregnant woman. It's very easy to get some things done. Like talk to your manager. Hey, I don't feel very well. I can't show up to work today. Everybody understands. Okay, no problem. Don't show up. But they take care of it. It's not like I have a pregnant woman at work right now. She's about, I don't know how she got to it. She's like, I want to say she's 50.
50 years old?
Yeah. When I saw her first, I thought she had an issue, like, like a medical issue. I didn't know she was pregnant. And I knew she was struggling, And then I heard her talking to someone and she was pregnant. I'm like, what's up? And from that day, I almost took it upon myself to kind of help her when she's working. And no one cares. Like, they still expect her to do everything that she's supposed to do. And I also think that she has that mentality that no one should help me. It's not a problem, right? That sometimes even when I try to help, she tries to cover up like I'm cool. You get what I mean? I think it's just that mentality of you don't need to help me. But the truth is, I don't want to derail, but like the system in Nigeria puts it in a way that if you're pregnant, people understand and people want to help. People are not going to sit down while you're standing up. People want you to get in front of the line. You come to the bank, like there's a queue. Everybody wants you to get to the front even if you're late. Like help you. It starts from there, right?
A better kind of mentality here in the United States of helping individuals, women specifically, who are in those types of situations, who are pregnant. But I don't know how we got there. Like I would argue, we're getting really controversial today. I would argue that it's part of the feminist movement in regards to this idea that I can do things on my own. I can be independent. I'm going to demonstrate that I'm a powerful woman despite my circumstances. And the truth of the matter is that we are equal in dignity, but we're definitely not equal in physicality. Men and women are very different, and obviously women can have children. And
preach. Preach. People don't like talking about things like this.
Yeah.
But it's just the truth.
Yeah, it is the truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we need to do a better way of demonstrating to our pregnant mothers that we care about them, and that job of being a mother is super important in our society. But we continue to kind of neglect it and put it to the side and say like, oh, this is something that you do kind of on the side, but your primary value is actually as a worker. But in reality, that's garbage. When you are a father, or a mother, that's your most important job, and on this earth. All the other stuff we do on the side,
it's added on.
But I think we've lost sight of that in America.
Yeah.
Whereas in Nigeria, they haven't.
No. I think that gender role is still solid. I'm not going to brag about it because I feel like, the problem. The problem is that Americans don't know the influence they have in the world at large. Like, it's scary. I think there is a blessing on this country, like, no joke. I think this is a special place for God. God has a special blessing on this country, that he puts this country in the limelight. And I think the country needs to be very careful what they do because people are watching. Down to the little things. So why I said it is because I kind of feel like people are starting to learn back in Africa, some things, people learn the ills really quick, so that gender role is still there, but it's not as strong as it used to be, but it's definitely different, right?
I just don't know I don't know how you kind of reverse that trend here in the United States. I think like you said, having kind of policies at the governmental level that really helps.
Oh yeah.
Women stay at home with their children. I think there's actually a lot more women in our society than we realize that would prefer to stay at home, especially during those
times you're taking care of the kids,
rather than going right back to work.
Back to work, yeah.
And obviously, women are a blessing in the workplace. You know, there's incredible women that I work with, and I can't imagine not having those individuals at our school. But at the same time, I know that those same women also love their children.
Oh yeah,
and, they cherish the time they spend with them.
Yeah. Let's even use for one my mom, for example. I mean, she had 7, right? 8, pretty much. She still was a full-time worker. Okay, takes us to morning mass every day. She did everything she was supposed to do. And you know, when it's time that she cannot do it, everybody understands. You know, because of the situation, like you're pregnant, you're off work, it's understandable. Okay, let women be women and let men be men, but you can't be that if the system doesn't help you to do that. You know, if the system puts it in a way that is more obvious, then people can be able to like embrace it. Like people who want to, because I know it's not everybody that wants to embrace it, but you can force people to be what they don't want to be, right? And another thing with Nigeria is that Nigeria started up like, I would tell you like the mentality in Nigeria is that the men are, I'm not saying this is what it's supposed to be, okay? But the mentality in Nigeria is that an average Nigerian man believes that he is supposed to provide for his family. We still believe in what the Bible says. A man who cannot provide for his family is worse than infidel, right? It's in the Bible.
I don't know where that's in the Bible, but
it is.
Probably
It is. Yeah, it is in the Bible. Yeah, I'm sure. So we still have that kind of mentality, okay? So I was brought up understanding that I'm a man. I'm supposed to provide for my family. I'm supposed to protect my family, financially, physically, and otherwise. I should be very, very ready to fight for, you know, protect my family against any physical, spiritual, you know, attack on my family. I'm supposed to be a watchman, pray for my family. I believe that I have the authority to lay hands on my kids and pour down blessings, you know. You know, that kind of idea, you know, even before before Christianity crept in or came into Nigeria, even the traditional religion, they still have that mentality, right? They still believe that the man is the head of the family, and you see them like laying hands on their kids, like praying over them. Like, I'm not talking about Christianity, I'm talking about like, before Christianity.
Yeah, traditional religion.
Yeah. So that mentality has been there. And they also believe, you know, that was when they were marrying like more than one wife. But the idea was like having a community. Like, it was still the idea of procreation, what God said. Go, increase, and multiply. You know, so having more children is a sign of wealth.
Whereas here in the United States currently, that's not necessarily true. I think most individuals here in the United States would see having more children is actually a sign of not being wealthy. And obviously my family is proof that that's wrong.
Very wrong.
Very wrong in every kind of way.
In every kind of way.
Because we just have, like I said, my parents have built a beautiful family out of difficult circumstances, to be honest. And they put their trust in God, and they gave everything to God, including obviously their fertility. Yeah. And I can't tell you the number of times my dad always says how people jokingly say, "You know how that happens, right?" And he's like, "Oh no, obviously." But
I like that one. He gave up everything Even the fertility to God.
Yeah, because everything belongs to God, and
Yeah.
if we truly believe that, we will give Him everything.
Everything.
And what you'll get is a tremendous blessing in return. And I think my family is a unique family in the sense that, praying for Zeke, we're all pretty darn faithful. We're all pretty darn, successful when it comes to the world of, I don't know, like business, economics. I don't know, like we all have jobs. We all are.
Yeah.
I think I could also say we almost all of us make an impact on our communities
For sure.
in a positive
For
way.
sure.
So I don't know how that happened, other than God and my parents trusting God.
Joe, there are some principles in the Bible that sometimes when you go against it, it goes against you. And one thing I pray is that God helps me to keep all those principles, which I know is difficult sometimes. Some are supposed to come natural because God already said it. Okay? We're told to go increase and multiply. I'm not saying take it hook, line, and sinker, right?
Yeah.
And that was exactly what your parents did. If your parents were more concerned about, I'm not saying don't care about the economy, okay? Let's say if your parents were like trying to be very smart. We want to go on more vacations and we don't want, let's just have one dog.
Yeah. There's a lot of
They can do it. They will have one dog at their age now. I don't know. Looking at that picture, having one dog, and this picture right now, your brothers that I've seen, like, and everything you guys do, can you see the difference?
Yeah.
It's just all about the decisions, what you decide to do. So they decided to listen to what God said, and God took care of the rest.
Yeah.
And I bet they are having more vacations than they ever imagined. Because the last time they were in Florida.
They were in Florida, yeah. They're still able to take vacations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
But I've enjoyed one of their cabins in Up North.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and plus, when you go on those vacations, you can actually spend time with people, other people. Because obviously,
than just your wife and your dog.
Yeah, correct. And your spouse is great, right? And you can spend time with your spouse, and that's a good thing. But like sometimes it's good to hang out with other people. And when you already have a family built in, that kind of provides the entertainment.
Yeah. So it is very beautiful to see like new faces, like, the grandchildren, the cousins, the nephews, the nieces, It's beautiful. You can never take away the beauty in it. Yeah. And when I saw your grandmom, the first time I saw her, man, I was like, this is very impossible in the United States. So she has how many grandkids?
Oh, it's like I said. I think it's well over 50. It might even be 60. I can't remember the exact number. And then the great grandchildren is
they come every day.
Yeah.
At this point, they like come every day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great blessing. It's just kind of like Abraham, right?
Yeah.
That idea.
Yeah.
Descendants will be as numerous as the stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's something really important to that, and really being open to that in your life if you can.
Yeah.
I've been the benefactor of that, not being able to have my own children. Yeah, but like at the same time, I have this huge family that I can really spend time with, and,
for sure,
and be a father figure to some extent,
and spiritual father to a lot too.
Yeah, no, it's a blessing to be. I think I'm a godparent 9 times now. 9, hopefully growing.
9, yeah. Honestly, God loves it.
Yeah,
I can tell. And that's when you understand the spiritual impact that is and take it to heart. That's the most important thing. A lot of people have kids, they don't even take care of their kids. It's not about having kids, it's about taking care of them, making sure they grow up right and do the right thing. Yeah, that's just the truth. Yeah, but honestly, it's because I've had my kids back in Nigeria before I moved over to the United States, so I can tell the difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
The community over there are very willing to help you take care of your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not like getting into your business, but it's just the culture.
Mm-hmm.
If my son in a public, let's say in McDonald's, is misbehaving, and I'm trying to put him to order in Nigeria, and probably he's not listening to me, a random person that I don't even know is going to talk to that child.
Mm-hmm.
You have to stop this.
Well, you kind of have that family in our family, right? Because we would say, obviously we call each other, we truly are brothers.
Yep.
Because when you came here, what I kind of recognize is that you were trying to raise your kids right.
Yeah, we all try.
And you're doing a great job.
Amen.
And but I could sense too that, you know what, they could use some additional support. And my family could provide that. And I was like, hey, let's have them over. Let's have them over for this event. And sure enough, your personality, I think my parents would consider you one of their sons.
No, not consider.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
And it's kind of unbelievable how kind of our families have become one family. Yeah. And even when your mom came that one time, I think she ended up calling me her son, which is kind of crazy. I was like, I'd never met you.
Each time she calls on the phone, she asks of you. Like, she keeps asking, how is he doing, Yeah. Yeah, maybe one of these days we'll put her on call and she talks to you or we'll video her.
No, it's to say that we're brothers and how our families have just kind of grown together.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, going back to that beginning, it's not like family life is perfect. Family life can be troublesome. And like I said, my older brothers beat the living tar out of me every once in a while when we were growing up. Obviously, I was antagonistic, so I deserved it. So
I like your sincerity, okay?
But I remember one time Nick gave me a Charlie horse so hard on my thigh that I couldn't walk straight for about a week.
What was Charlie hot?
Like a punch.
Oh, punch!
A punch right to the thigh,
man.
and we were goofing around. I was antagonizing him and that kind of thing. And actually, this is about Andrew, but once again I antagonized him definitely.
It can't be Andrew. That was
Andrew.
unique.
So we're sitting at the dinner table and we're coming home from school at St. Charles. We're wearing uniforms, kind of nicer, and we're eating pasta sauce, that kind of thing. I get pasta sauce in my hand.
Yeah.
I think the devil took hold of me. I looked over at Andrew, wiped my hands all over his white uniform.
Oh, man.
And my mom looks at Andrew and she's just like,
what?
And Andrew started beating me up the table, and they were okay with it, and rightfully so, because I deserved it in that moment.
Yeah, it was like a little bit of lesson. You know what? Let's let Andrew take care of this.
Yes, he's got this, right?
Yeah,
because Joe should never do that again, and I learned very, very quickly from that moment. But like I said, then I had 4 sisters right below me who, they would antagonize me, but I couldn't do anything about that. We would just have maybe verbal fights.
Verbal fights, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things with family. You would always have that. Maybe 2 people who don't get along.
Rivalry.
We can talk more of that maybe next time too.
The rivalries in families. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah.
But I don't think we've ever had a fight.
Me and you?
Yeah. Have we ever had a fight?
We might have one now.
Uh-oh. Maybe next time.
All right, guys.
God bless you guys.
Yeah, God bless you. Remember to subscribe, okay? Peace.